One, do more stuff for other people.
Yeah.
There's no question that the payoff for things you do for other people is much greater than the payoff for things you do for yourself. Two, spend your time and resources on doing things rather than owning things. This didn't come up in our discussion, but there's a fair amount of evidence that we get much more satisfaction out of activities than we do out of possessions. I think the reason almost certainly is that activities tend to occur as part of social groups in a way that possessions don't, and it's the social nature of activities that gives it the extra bang for the buck. So do stuff, don't buy stuff. This is very un-American. I apologize. And three,
No, you can buy stuff to do stuff, right?
you can buy stuff to do stuff. And again, this is not a clear, bright line between having and doing. It's fuzzy. The third thing is to see how you can invest the work you do, which is half of your waking life, with meaning and purpose. You want to feel eager to go to work every day, not reluctant to go to work every day. To some degree, you may have to change the work. To some degree, you may have to change the way you construe and think about the work. So you may have some power to turn a bad job into a good one without the job changing its character at all. It's possible. That's my quick and dirty list.
Okay, practical tips for either of our other panelists
So
here?
I agree with number one, certainly go help. Back to Gilbert, go volunteer at a homeless shelter. You may not help the homeless, but you'll definitely help yourself. That, for one, definitely help other people. I think definitely what Barry said about finding meaning in your work, again, that's what my whole book is about trying to infuse your work with purpose and how do you do that. But then I think the third thing, which is really important, is the idea of framing your own perspective, really recognizing what you're valuing and what you're comparing yourself to, and really expanding that perspective to be objective about the world, objective about yourself. We talk about the fact that, again, this concept that we each have individual strengths, and we have a unique sort of, we may not feel we're powerful, we may not feel that we're the CEO, but you don't need to be the CEO to have power. You have to understand your own strengths and your own unique combination of strengths. And then if you can use that for something bigger than yourself, that is what Marty Seligman says is the meaningful life, and I agree with that. But really fighting every day, training every day to reframe your perspective in a way that you become that marathon runner, and you're shaping your reality, and you become you choose to be a more grateful person. You choose to have a more meaningful life. I think you have to know that it's all within your power, and that's the 40%. The 40% is within your power, and so why not choose to be happy?
Darren?
So they've taken all the good ones from the list, but there are a couple left. I teach a big course on happiness, and I have the students act out some of these things, and they perform random acts of kindness. And one of my students was putting change in people's meters, which was great. And so all these things work. But I would add to the list: express thanks, forgive. Express gratitude. Those are all good things for you. Whether the person deserves forgiveness or not doesn't matter. It'll help you. Mm-hmm. Cultivate hope, right? Not fantasy, but hope. It gives one power. And do all those things as often as you can with other people. Mm-hmm. This is one of the terrible things about depression is that when you're depressed, you withdraw from the world, which just exacerbates the problem, right? Other people are a huge resource to encourage your happiness. And I think actually the character of modern American life, particularly actually for men and high achieving men, we don't have Robert Putnam at Harvard wrote about this. We don't have bowling clubs anymore. We don't do things in groups in the way that, when if you have a day out with the guys or that can be such a powerful thing, and the effects of that can last for a week or two or three. And if you weave that into the fabric of your life, it'll increase your happiness.